Right. Okay. Okay. Nice to see you back. I have
Lovely to be
missed you
back.
so much. It's unbelievable.
I missed you too.
Good afternoon, guys. Good afternoon. Guess what? We have got Beth back. Yes, Beth. You know, I think we missed her. Well, I did anyway. But anyway, there you go. Anyway, we go. We got Beth back. I tell you what, Beth. You know what I've been talking to my wife about lately? It's menopause. It's really
Oh,
true.
well, I would say don't get me started, but actually do get me started. Yeah.
Yeah, it
Um,
depends. It depends how you phrase that. But I said to my wife the other day, I said, because I said to her, look, she said to me, I'm thinking about going through my menopause, and I said, does men go through menopause too?
yeah, they do actually. It's called andropause. Yeah. And so it's actually a thing. And poor old men,
Actually, a
because
thing. Actually, a thing.
it's actually a thing, andropause, yeah. And poor old men,
All right.
because they just tend to get a bit laughed at, don't they? It's kind of, oh, you're having your midlife crisis. Oh, you've got the convertible and trying to, go attract the attention of younger women and all that sort of thing. But it actually is, a sudden drop in sex hormones for men as well. And, absolutely is a big thing, a big change, and can be very stressful for them. So I think there's probably even less help out there for men than there is for women right now.
So, are you saying that men gonna change too?
Yeah, they it's called andropause, and it's the lowering of testosterone. They're still fertile, I think, until they die, basically. But there's definitely a lowering of it, and that's the biology behind what we know societally as the male midlife crisis. So men are actually going through something, just like men go through puberty, like women go through puberty. Men have their own kind of process at the end as well. So yeah, because menopause is like the opposite of puberty. Puberty is like all the sex hormones flooding through your body for the first time, and menopause and andropause is like it's like the tide going out. so yeah, but
Right. Okay. Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
so we need to be a bit kinder to men and start talking about andropause so that they can seek
Yeah.
help if they want to.
If you can be kind, I'd be so grateful because I'm on my menopause now.
Well, you
Yeah.
see, the thing is, it's there's a sort of culture of joking around menopause and things, but it's actually really hard for men and women, that women go through this. It absolutely destroys marriages. It destroys careers and things. It can
Uh,
destroy a woman's health. And every single female on the planet that lives to that age will go through that process. And there's the work that needs to be done around helping women with the physical side of what that means, but there's also the psychological side of what that means, and also there's the relationship side of what that means, because women suddenly, it's like, it can be like, and I don't want to denigrate women, I'm just talking from my experience and the experience of women I've spoken to about it, and
yeah.
I do
Why
have
not?
quite a lot
Yeah.
of clients with it. But women kind of have like a midlife crisis too. It's kind of like, what have I done all this for? What have I done all those years of washing up for? What have I raised all the kids for? What have I jumped through all the hoops for? Like, what's left for me? What dreams have I lived? What kind of, what's next? And I'm afraid a lot of women, and probably men too, they sort of turn and look at their partner and go, what am I doing with them? you know and so
Yeah.
it can
Well.
be like a really difficult time in a relationship. It often coincides, depending on when you have kids, but it often coincides with the kids starting to leave the nest and everything. Um, so yeah, there can be various factors feeding into and putting stresses on what's basically a healthy marriage, a healthy relationship.
Yeah. Yeah. It can be really, really bad. I was speaking to someone about menopause the other day, and I didn't know how a woman can go through that. It's kind of like it's really tough for them, isn't it? Because you always, women get all the problems, don't they? And us men, we just go, oh well, we don't get nothing really, do we?
Well,
You not
you
get
do.
anything.
I think. You
Well,
do. I mean,
you get your bad days. You get your bad days. You know, women get their bad days. You know, like the monthly period. Excuse me for saying that, but
mm,
you get the
mm.
then you get the mood swings. Then you get like about 5 hours to put makeup on and 1 hour to take it off. You know.
Oh my God, I couldn't be asked for that. God, you never get that time back, the makeup thing. But yeah, absolutely, it's totally normal to get hormonal highs and lows. And again, one of the disservices that the patriarchy, which I'm always banging on about, has done to both men and women in relationships is that it's made men unaware of what women are going through every month, never mind menopause. And it's made men feel embarrassed. You just apologized for saying period, but it's just a normal thing that happens, like going to the loo. It's a normal, healthy
Yeah.
thing that happens. And it's a shame for men that there's embarrassment around it. It's a shame that there are couples even today who struggle to communicate with each other about that, who struggle to understand what's happening. I mean, there's a lot of help out there now. There's apps that map your cycle, so kind of
Mm.
like what symptoms you're having on what days and things, and that's really helpful for teenage girls. As soon as they
Yeah.
start puberty, they can start to
Mm.
understand what their natural
Yeah.
cycle is. 'Cause it's slightly different for everyone, and that
Okay.
actually goes to I've done high level sort of mindset and performance coaching with women who are in very senior positions in corporations, and encouraging them to plan work with their cycle, to have the most demanding meetings when they've naturally got the most focus, to avoid the most potentially stressful people or meetings or whatever, when
Mm.
they're a bit, and to actually plan strategically in line with your body. And that actually allows them to perform at a much higher level than they did before, because they're just understanding their own biology. Because period cycles no different from hunger cycle. We all know that if we don't drink enough water, it affects our brain function. We can't think as well. We tend to get tired because our body's struggling to function. And
Mm.
if we don't eat, obviously our energy dips. If we eat the wrong food, sometimes it gets sugar high or a caffeine buzz. So we understand about that, and it's accepted that you have to eat sensibly in order to perform well in business. And it's the same with just the other natural cycles of the body.
Yeah. Yeah. It's difficult. I won't like to get women's periods or other women's problems. You know what I mean? I'll be dead by the end of the week or whatever when now.
Well, there are compensations, because it can be, it's a wonderful experience to be able to carry a child. Childbirth can be obviously hell on wheels, but it's a very short time compared to, the carrying of a child. And for all its ups and downs, I mean, every experience has its sort of bittersweet aspect to it. It's an amazing and profound thing to be part of. And also, we get better orgasms, apparently. There's a lot of evidence to suggest that women have much more powerful orgasms than men. So, there. Oh, and also, we have much more complex immune systems, because we have to pass on our immunity to a very young baby and also to the fetus in the womb. So, women's immune systems are much more powerful than men's. So
Ah,
there's some
right. Okay.
upsides. Yeah, but I don't know whether it's why we live longer generally or whatever. Although interestingly,
Okay.
um, in general, there are more women with long COVID than there are men, and that's because COVID does attack the immune system, and women's immune systems, get, I don't know the technical terms, but they get more embroiled, and so that can cause the longer strain of it in a way that men don't get so
Yeah.
much.
Yeah. How do we cope with how do us men cope with mood swings? You know what I mean? Because they kind of like sorry when a woman kind of like either on their period or when they go into their state of mind, say that sometimes it can be really horrible. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. It can be really unpleasant if there's no sort of understanding and no communication. So I would say, and this is for men as well, because men haven't been taught this language, but there are quite a lot of men who come home very grumpy because the commute was hell, or their boss has been a total git to them all day or whatever, and often that men aren't taught how to express negative
Mm.
feelings apart from anger, which they're not always feeling.
Yeah.
Maybe they feel threatened, maybe they feel upset. So but both people in a couple need some ideas on how to do that. So for the woman, so if the cycle's happening to her, something like an app to start predicting a cycle and start predicting, it's usually like just a couple of days before the bleeding starts when the mood dips. So the progesterone, the happy hormone, dips massively just before the bleeding, and that's what can affect mood. So it can really help when if she shares that with her partner, either the app or he can put something in his calendar, so awareness of it coming and knowing about it beforehand can be really useful. And just talking and sort of saying, okay, so when I start getting a bit snippy with you, what is it I need to do differently? What is it that you should be allowed to, sort of, I promise I'll be okay if you just decide to leave the room at that point, and you're allowed to tell me that I'm being snippy, and then I'll check on my app and go, oh my God, yeah, okay, yes, I am, I've got PMT or whatever. So it's that kind of conversation that a couple can have to sort of
Yeah,
see it
yeah.
and then manage it that way. And the same for, poor old men, is that, it's nice sometimes for a man to, you can go through a little ritual on your doorstep of just shaking off the day, just taking a breath, just breathing it all out and I'm leaving that out there. Sometimes men, one guy says he takes his shoes off when he gets into the hall. So he wipes his feet and he goes into his house and he takes his shoes off, and they're like his work shoes. And once they're off and his bare feet touch the ground, that's it, he's home then, and work is left behind. So any sort of ritual like that can also help. Particularly if their partner's got PMT that day, it can help if they're not, bringing stress in, and that they're
Well,
feeling calm and they're happy. But yeah, it can be really traumatic for men. And I think, I would definitely encourage any couple who feel that, some sort of hormonal imbalance in one partner or another might be a root cause of some problems they're having, go and have some counselling. That's fine. Counselling shouldn't be seen as a last ditch resort. Lots of things happen in life, and hopefully people's marriages will be long and happy. But there's always stuff that comes up that you're not prepared for, that you struggle with, and it's absolutely fine. It should be seen as healthy maintenance to just check in and do a little bit of counselling to just have that safe space to understand what's going on and how you can help each other through it.
I used to be really frightened of my wife when it was like a certain time. No, no, don't laugh. Don't laugh. It's not,
Well, I don't know whether you're winding me up. So, okay, you used to be frightened of her, yeah.
I'm not. No, I'm not winding you up. I'm being serious. I'm being serious.
Fine, okay, all right, cool.
All right. No, no, I'm not winding you up. And anyway, so what is what it is, right? When
Mm,
she kind of like used to be on a monthly cycle,
yeah,
right? I used to find it very difficult to cope with her in the beginning because it was like mood swings. It was her attitude towards me. I felt abandoned. As men, we feel
yeah,
abandoned.
you needy things.
We feel not loved. I
Yeah.
actually even get my comfort blanket and and take that with take that to bed with me. No, I didn't. No, I'm only joking. But
Mm.
the trouble is though, why is women so really um nasty when they're going through their monthly cycle? Why can't they go, darling? I'm going through my monthly cycle, right? Just be a bit patient with me. Very soon, I'll be, everything's going to be calmed down a bit, instead of like punch you in the head if you say something or kicking you in the down
Yeah,
below it, you know?
I get you, and it can be really daunting for men, and it can feel threatening and things. Part of this is, um, as I say, what you've just suggested there is that some sort of conversation happens about how each person behaves when stuff's happening, and I like your idea of the comfort blanket, and it may well be that you just come to a sort of agreement. You just have a little habit maybe where, when she's having her PMT days, I'm saying she as in a partner, I'm not talking about your wife. When a woman's having a PMT days, maybe that could be a time when the man plans some time to go down and go climbing with his mates, or go down the pub and watch the footy, with her blessing, because, she gets to have
Ah,
some space. There's lots of positive ways of going, okay, so we've got these days here where, so that the woman accepts that, she's perhaps not the most fun to be with. So how can that become a positive experience for the man? Um, so there's various creative ways you can think of doing that. And I had a house full of pubescent girls. I've had it for the last 10 years or whatever. And when my girls were sort of just starting to get used to those hormones and things, they couldn't believe this huge sort of fountain of rage that just comes from nowhere. And it's not their fault, because it is just a hormonal reaction.
yeah,
It's like saying to someone who's drunk, look, act sober, just be sober now. You can't. If that alcohol is swimming around your bloodstream, it does affect your mood, it does affect your responses and things. And it's exactly the same when your progesterone drops suddenly, because society isn't built to accept that from women. We're supposed to be the same all the time. Particularly as women, we're supposed to be nice and smiley and kind and caring, And when we're all, oh, just bugger off, I've had enough of you, it's like, oh, where did that come from, So
yeah,
it's
yeah.
understanding. I mean, I wish more of this was taught in schools. I wish we were allowed to understand the other gender more. And of course, remember that
Well,
most of medicine has been based on the male body, the young male body. So things like periods and menopause and stuff like that, they're given very much secondary importance. And what a shame, because as you say, can have a real impact on marriages, can't it? On
oh yeah,
relationships.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But why don't we talk about it? Why is it so difficult to talk about menopause? Periods, sex. Why is it difficult? Because when I was at school, okay, I did go through the menopause or the kind of like the periods, but
Yeah.
we had sexual education at school.
Yeah. But was that, that was about the nuts and bolts of it, really, wasn't it? That, because
Yeah.
I was probably
Well,
educated at the same
you
time as
got it
you.
in one nuts and bolts. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I mean, anyone can do that. You just watch a David Attenborough. We all knew that at the age of 7, basically, what lions do in the jungle and stuff. Um, what people really need to know is to understand about sexual drives, like, how powerful that sex drive is in very young human beings whose brains haven't fully developed, and they've got the pressure of school and peer pressure and GCSEs and this, that, and the other. It's an incredibly tumultuous and stressful time for them. The reality of relationships, we're still flooded culturally with the Hollywood model, where two people meet in a sort of strange, kooky way and fall madly in love with each other and have great sex and get married and live happily ever after. We all know that relationships aren't like that. If you're lucky, that's your happy beginning, but then you've got a whole life living with that person, and you grow, you change, different things happen. One of you might get a long-term illness, etc. All sorts of stuff happen. You might try and start a family and find you can't. You might lose a child. All sorts of things happen along that way. And absolutely, things like monthly cycles and hormones and changes of life should be absolutely discussed and planned for. Because just to go sort of slightly at a tangent, I'm struggling. So I'm 51. I'll be 52 in July, and
Yeah.
I'm newly divorced. As you know, I run my own business. I've got sort of 2 teenage kids. Now I need to be spending the next 10 years at least working my ass off, really. Increasing my pension contributions, and getting some stability and getting all the career satisfaction that I let go of for 20 years while I was having kids, right? So there's so much I want to do in the next 10 years.
Yeah.
But when I haven't got my menopause medication, right, and it changes over time, because the perimenopause process can last about 10
Yeah.
years. When it's not right, I wake up feeling a million years old. I've got joint pain. I've got you can have rashes, you can have night sweats, you can have hot flushes. The main problem I had was brain fog, just forgetting words in the middle of conversations. I'm terrible for going, well, there's 3 points to that, Steve. There's blah, and then by the time I get to point three, I've completely forgotten what point three was, and so I sort of peter out. But that's a real
Anyway,
thing.
anyway, anyway,
Sorry?
how is your relationship getting on?
Oh, well, that relationship has come to an end, sadly.
Oh no, because I thought you were in love. You were planning to get married, and again, the second time, and I ordered a hat, a bowler hat ready, blobby suit, pair of
Well,
boots.
we'll keep it. I'm sure it'll. I'm sure one of your guests will get married at some point soon. Surely you've got it for Mark's wedding, Mark and Mal's wedding.
Oh no, I've got something planned for him. Don't you worry. I've got I've got a shot coming to him in the next few weeks, and you'd be
Fantastic.
surprised. Yeah,
Okay, great. Well, I
someone's
shall
paying.
make sure I tune
Someone's
in.
paying. Someone's paying him a visit.
Oh, right. Okay. That's going to be fantastic. Okay. Well, so I'm intrigued by that. Um,
Yeah,
yeah. So, yeah, sadly, we had a lovely time for 2.5
yeah.
years. Um, but for various reasons, it's just not possible to live in the same city. And that just became a drag after a
Mm,
while. You know, um, we didn't plan on doing a long distance relationship for quite as long
mm,
as it turned out. And yeah, it's just not viable right now, and
yeah.
it's fine. I'm sure we'll see each other as friends and all that. Um, and yeah, I'm very grateful for the time that we had together. It was awesome. And it was just what I needed to, get over being married. I mean, it was a relationship that was sort of untraditional.
Yeah,
It wasn't necessarily, I absolutely did and do love him very much, but actually we weren't sort of planning to get married and have a traditional
mm,
relationship. We weren't even planning to ever live in the same house together because we're both sick of like past relationships where there's been arguments about, wet towels on the bathroom floor and how somebody stacks the dishwasher and all that crap. So I think, if we ever
all
had
that
moved to the same
crap.
town, we'd have just got like houses in the same street or something. So, because as you get older, it's nice to have your own personal space as well as sort
Yeah,
of couple space.
yeah.
So
Are you a
yes,
person? Are you a person who likes to have personal space?
I do. I'm what you would say as an introvert. So obviously I work with people all the time and I absolutely love that. And, I can't believe I get paid for it. But really, whether you're introvert or extrovert is just about where you recharge. So
Yeah.
extroverts, they recharge, they go out and with their friends and have a
Mm.
great time with other people, and that's how they recharge. Me, I like to be at home with a book or some music or, you know, just having a kip really. But yeah, so I am introverted, and yeah, I think for me, and this is just my model of the world, a healthy relationship is one where it's okay for each person to have some space from time to time when they want that.
Right. I've got my own dating agency. All
Are
you
you
got to
gonna
do is
you
pay
gonna
me.
hook me up with someone else? Are you?
Yeah. Yeah. I've got somebody really, really nice here.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, I can fix you up. I'll, let,
You're
I'll,
fixing up
I'll,
nice.
I'll speak to him later on. But anyway, in the
Mhm.
meantime, what I want to talk, it is really nice to see you back again. How
Thank
is
you.
kind of like life for you at this moment in time? I know about the relationship, but and the business side of things.
Yeah, well, thanks. Yeah, so it's just been keeping that balance really of um, you know, the divorce, the house move, which just fell through again and again and all that. So far in the last
You
6 months,
still you still there? You
no, I've
still at the
moved.
upper house?
I've moved now,
Oh
but
right,
I didn't move till March. I was supposed to
right,
move, like I had an offer accepted last May, and it's
yeah,
taken till March just gone to actually move. So and then you know how it is, you move into a house and then everything needs doing. So at
yeah,
the moment, I'm in a tiny corner of my bedroom, like nudged up against my wardrobe here, because the whole bedroom's full of crap. Because I've got to get the cellar done because I've only got 2 bedrooms in this house, and my older child wants to move back in with me. She's with her dad at the moment, and so I'm having to get the cellar refurbed. So that's going to be 2 months of noise and all that sort of thing. But basically, it's all good because it's what I've wanted for
Yeah.
ever since January 2019 when I asked for a divorce.
Yeah.
So it's all chugging along as it should. It's all heading in the right direction. It's all quite exciting. And yeah, and then on the work front, yeah, some interesting stuff going on. I just spent last week down in Wiltshire on an army base, basically. I was
You
I
were on
was
the army base.
I was on an army base, hanging out with squaddies.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh yeah, yeah. Tell us.
yeah. It's I was asked to sort of come and experience something called the Warrior Program, which is an amazing charity which works with serving personnel and veterans from any of the services. Um, and it's like an amazing, powerful sort of training course to help give them tools to build resilience. So often they will have had some sort of trauma, obviously in the field or whatever, and it's like an extra toolkit to help them, recover, develop that resilience. Sort of regain their confidence and move forward, either with their career or, out into the wider world. And yeah, it was amazing. I learned loads of new techniques. It was great for my self-development because however much of this stuff you do, you can't hold it all in your
Mm,
consciousness at the same time, and it's always good to go to one of these things and go, oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I must try that. Or that worked for
yeah.
me for a bit. So that was really good. And also, most of my clients are women, like 90% of them are women. So it was just amazing to work with, predominantly men. There were women there, but yeah, it was like up at 7 for breakfast. We all ate breakfast together, sort of in the mess hall, and then um, you
All
know
right.
straight in for a morning of training, and then over to the mess hall again for lunch all together, back in for some more training and stuff, and then we all had dinner together as well, and it was like that solidly for 3 days. So it was a really immersive experience, and of course, you know it took a while to occur to me, but of course that's how the military works. They do everything together, don't they?
Mm,
They sleep in the same rooms, they eat together, they do all of that stuff together, and that's just normal for them. But for me as an introvert, I had to manage my mind a bit, because by the time I got to the morning of sort of day 2, I was like, oh, more people. But it was fine. Actually, I got into it in the end, and it was great. I really enjoyed it. So yeah, so
really
I've
good,
been.
really good.
Sorry.
That. So, what do you think of Wiltshire then?
Yeah, Welsh is lovely, isn't it? I mean, my grandmother used to live in Swindon. I
All
mean, it's
right. Yeah.
beautiful. It's all that Cotswold stone, isn't it? And this is sort of deep in the countryside. This base, and yeah, so it's a beautiful part of the world. There was loads of really nice sort of country pubs and things that we snuck out to as coaches in the evening and things. That was really good. And yeah, so I got accepted onto the team, and so I'm off to do another course in September and another one in November. So yeah, just really excited to be, giving something back, and working with a completely different sort of cohort. I think I've got a lot to learn about working effectively with men. So it's great to be able to develop that experience.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're probably kind of like you're thinking, oh no, not men again.
I love men, as you know, Steve.
Yeah, I know, I know. I'm only joking. What
And
before you go, what I want to ask you is this: that you seem to be a strong woman, are you?
um, yeah, so my gut reaction is yes. I think sometimes I get a bit tired of being strong. It'd be really nice if I didn't have to be strong all the time. But at the same time, the last 3 years, I've definitely been on a mission to become more independent. So not reliant on a partner or anything, just being able to stand on my own two
Yeah.
feet manage myself, and then sort of being able to make choices about my life from that position of empowerment, really. So I guess that's strength, and I definitely feel like I'm getting there. I still still quite a lot of mornings where I wake up and go, oh, is this going to work out? Or, like, I don't know what it's like to have a cellar refurbishment. That's never happened before, but that's going to happen. So
You've got
um
an excuse
yeah.
now, though. You can stick your daughter down there, but use your cellar for kick some bottles down there too. I'll fill it up with wine and everything. And have some parties and stuff. Let yourself go.
Yeah, absolutely. You're right. That's what I need to do is just hold regular raves there. I think that's going to be fun.
Yeah, yeah,
But yeah,
yeah.
I'd say I am strong because
Mm,
I'm strong because I'm honest about stuff, and I'm always learning,
mm,
and I have a good relationship with myself. I do love me, and
mm.
that helps me stay strong.
When was the last time you cried?
Mm. Not long ago, the 16th of May.
Right. Okay.
it
Is
was, it
that
was the last time I saw Guy.
all right? Okay. Okay. Right. Okay. Okay. Look, Beth. Thank you very much for joining me. I tell you what, it's nice
Mm,
to have you back.
thank you.
It's really, I did. I really, really missed you. I cried.
Oh, stop it. It's
Yeah.
fabulous to be back. Yeah, and it's lovely to just chat in this relaxed way about what's going on. And I just hope it's useful for some of the listeners out there.
It is. You take care. I tell you what, you kind of like get the girls to do the move, and you sit down with a glass of wine. All
Yeah, I
right.
think I need to do that. Yeah, delegation. That's what I need to do, isn't it?
Yeah. Or get Mark come around, Mark Memphis to come around, right? And get him to do all the work. Then just tell him to, you know, go
Right.
away.
I'm messaging him now.
Anyway, take care, Beth. Take care.
Thank you so much. All right, you take care too.
Lovely talking to
Bye.
you. Bye bye.